Sorry to say so.
Yeah, the technology,
But
right?
we have to survive this technology, yes. We
What's
have
the,
to survive.
tell us about the concept of these greenhouses, because it also features here.
Yes, the concept of the greenhouses is this. We want to ensure that we have this perennial production of the produce. So it will help us if we can go into that.
Okay, that's
You
what
know, we are
even
coming.
off-season, it will
Yes,
still
the
be
off
on.
season, then there will be enough. And to make, to fill a whole Boeing 767, for instance, you need 55 metric tons of fresh produce. And that's a lot. If you have to do that on 7-day basis. These aircraft come into this country with general goods and they go out empty, which is very sad. And the cost of the to and fro is already onto that produce, onto the cargo that they are bringing into the country. So what we are trying to do is that the aviation, we are having the Retropolis. Within our Retropolis, we intend to have, let me call it agrotropolis. Some areas of it we can use for the greenhouse farming. Just to make sure that we augment, just to augment whatever we are doing, yes, right within, around the airports, just to augment what we are having in the open field cultivation. So that's what is happening. So the greenhouse cultivation is going to be also there to further augment what we are doing.
That's going to be done by local investors, private
Strictly
investors?
private sector. And no, it cannot be done by local investors. Some of them are very much interested in it. Private sector driven. Local investors. Some people have already shown interest.
So
some people are already working on it, in fact.
What support is government going to be given to? Because it would seem that the collector has a lot of responsibility. In fact, the success of this particular plan will most likely depend heavily on the efficiency of the collector as well. What support are you going to be given to the collector? Government plans to give to the collector?
Well, already the Ministry of Agriculture has already given 6 of these, I call them collectors, inverted commas, open and closed. They have been given some funding facility. They've established a facility of 1.2 billion for each one of them, whereby government is giving them a grant of 500 billion. They're taking a loan of 500 billion, and then they're having an equity of 250 million, making it 1.25 billion. So I think this is a huge incentive. And giving them the loans, government has said is going to be at just single-digit interest rate. So to me, this is a very huge.
So we have 6 collectors already?
Already on ground, 6 collectors.
Where are they located?
3 are almost. One is in Nasarawa, Enugu State, Nasarawa, Enugu State, Kaduna, Jigawa, I think, and I'm mixing them all up, but I mean there are 6 states that are.
And the private sector is involved in this one as well?
Strictly private sector. I'm going to have, the committee will have meeting with the private sector with these 6, I call them now the collectors by next week.
What sort of timeline are you looking at to fulfill some of these goals? Anyone in the short term or medium term?
We have some low-hanging fruits. Okay. The low-hanging fruits that we have, one is already, you know, that we have farmers market. We intend to replicate that. If you know what is happening in the Maitama farmers market, it's just like a collecting center where people go in there. We now intend to enhance that further by now giving them some of the storage and then the cooling facility, so that then we replicate that in so many other centers. Right now is only in Maitama. If we can replicate that, then we are talking with the FCT
so perhaps the state will also help.
And then we move into state government. We are working with state government. We are now going to move into talking to state government based on their comparative areas of production. So I think for this, to me, this is low-hanging areas because they are working with people who bring them in are from the rural farmers. So if we have more of these centers, not necessarily in the highbrow areas, you will see people going in there. I tell people that some things are even cheaper in the Maitama
Farmers market.
Farmers market.
I think
Than in Wuse market.
our correspondent was there recently at the farmers market. I'm not sure if I got that it was Maitama, just in case. But
Okay,
it
in
would
Abuja.
seem, yes,
He's in
here in
Abuja
Abuja.
here, he's in Abuja.
Yeah, the report was on the state of the market. I mean, yes, it's lucrative. A host of people coming from, from the north, from the middle belt areas, bringing their produce there, and from there it's carted to different parts of the country. But the state of the market was what was worrisome in terms of, mud around, the fact that the people there constantly have to do their own self-maintenance by themselves, and it just left a lot to
We
be
are just
desired.
looking into that. We are going to work with them to see how they can enhance that, because we intend to use that as a model, which we intend to replicate in other places in
Because you
collaboration
also
with the
said that-
FCT administration
you also said,
to see how we can
the Ministry of
replicate that
Health.
in other places and then in other states.
Because you mentioned the Ministry of Health. How do they come in instances like
The
this you
Ministry
just
of Health
mentioned?
is with respect to the certification, the food health, is with respect to the food health policy, which they've almost completed. So that is their responsibility. And then they will be part of this competent authority that will carry out the monitoring of the standardization of the various and ensuring that they keep to the timing as well.
I've got Anthony Odile here says, look, how do we access all this information? And he wants a way such that this could be publicized to the extent that they could easily just access it and know how to come in. You have that platform?
Yes, definitely they can.
Okay.
We will get back to them on this.
All right. Okay then. So we'll have to let it go here. We'll have other questions coming through, but that's how far we could go. I want to thank you for coming on. And Eneta is the Senior Special Assistant to the President on Aviation Matters.